yours. It's a true bona fide classic. Yeah. So since Goofy Movie just had its 30th anniversary, I have done so much with it lately. I went to 90s Night and Goofy Movie was everywhere. Disney sent me a big box of 30th anniversary merch. I got invited to go see it at El Capitan just recently. They just made that documentary about it on Disney Plus, which is fascinating, by the way, if you haven't checked it out. It's really good. And it made me remember just how great a Goofy Movie really is. I grew up with this movie, I watched it a ton as a kid, and kind of over the years, I started paying more attention to the quote-unquote main Disney movies. Your Beauty and your Beast, your Aladdins, your Lion Kings, and I haven't really given a lot of attention to Goofy Movie. But because of all this, it's all come back to me. I was just floored by how much I loved this and was shocked I haven't picked up this movie in so long. It's so good! Like, the storytelling here, it's simple, but so effective. You understand everything that the characters are going through. Whether you're an adult or you're a kid, you can relate to both sides and understand both Max and Goofy. It is extremely accessible in that way, which is extremely impressive. Neither side feels like abandoned, Goofy never feels truly villainized, and neither does Max. Both are coming from very relatable and understandable points of view. And their reconciliation is very strong, heartfelt, and is very emotionally satisfying. Even if the circumstances of it are, a bit far-fetched. But it's a Goofy movie! What do you expect? You expecting them to have a heart-to-heart in their homes? Or sitting on top of their car that is almost fully submerged in water because it fell down the side of a cliff because Goofy forgot to put the parking brake on? I think a lot of times, this movie gets unfairly just shoved in the corner as a 90s time capsule. Which, it kind of is a 90s time capsule, but I feel like just calling it that is negating all of the great timeless aspects of this story. Yes, there are some aggressively 90s things in this movie. The music specifically, it was designed to be contemporary, with contemporary issues. Kevin Lima, the director, even straight up said that. But even through that, I show my nieces this movie. They are less than 10 years old. The 90s are a foreign concept to them, and yet they love this movie too. So yes, in some ways it is totally a 90s time capsule, but in other ways, the main story is really timeless. And regardless of what generation you grew up in, you can still really appreciate it. That story is for every generation. It's not exclusive to the 90s. I love what they did with Goofy. Goofy is still Goofy. He's hilarious at times, he's clumsy at times, but yet you can still see his other layers. You get to see him when he's sad, you get to see him when he's upset, you get to see him when he feels betrayed. These are all really unique emotions to Goofy. And yeah, in a lot of ways, this could have failed badly, and it really worked, and I think because they treated him so sincerely. And they still gave us those very goofy moments. It was a nice balance. If they'd given us all the seriousness with none of the gags, it would have felt off, but because there was just enough goofiness and just enough gags, it made the other parts make more sense. And also a big credit to Bill Farmer for making that voice to be able to do that. Because let me tell you something, I know a couple things when it comes to making cartoon characters do things they normally wouldn't. There was a couple things I had to do with Dracula that Adam Sandler never did, and that was hard. I know firsthand what Bill Farmer had to do in that regard, and he had to do it way more than I did, so shoot. Bill Farmer, round of applause for you, sir. That's impressive. Jason Marsden as Max just fits so perfectly. Like, the voice just fits so well, his acting just felt so real, but also totally fitting in this cartoony world. It was a great choice. Every character in this was just done so well. I truly think that this needs to be thought of as a Disney classic, because it is. Bobby is just straight up hilarious with his Leaning Tower of Cheesa. Pete is such a great foil to Goofy, and also in the fact that Pete starts leading him down the wrong path and Goofy kind of doesn't know which way to go. PJ was a great supportive friend, and Disney, whatever happened to Roxanne? Disney, what happened to Roxanne? And also, what happened to Max for some reason? I haven't seen Max since Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. We don't want to talk about that monstrosity. In fact, speaking of which, who is this, Disney? Who is this? This is not Roxanne! Bring back Roxanne! Yes, I know, like in an extremely goofy movie, it makes sense that, your high school crush doesn't necessarily go with you to college. Totally get that. But Roxanne is such a great character. Y'all, she really is. She's so sweet, and she's cute, and her chemistry with Max is so good. I'm not a man who cares about like shipping and romance and all that stuff, but anything other than Roxanne for Max just feels wrong. And the music. How can we talk about Goofy movie without talking about the music? Of course. Powerline is still to this day some of the coolest songs that we have ever gotten, eye to eye, and stand out just so good. And even the musical theater style songs where we've got On the Open Road and Nobody Else But You and yes, even Lester's Possum Park. They're still just so much fun and really help to bring the emotional core. I'm glad they didn't do like exclusively Powerline style songs because the ones we got were phenomenal and handled so well. But just imagine having a song like that whenever they need to have the heart-to-heart talk and not using like musical theater style with Nobody Else But You. I feel like that would have been pushing it too far and then it would have felt like you were losing the heart. But the way they did it, doing a beautiful mixture of the two, was just, it worked so well. The animation with it, even though you can tell it's cheaper than the other Disney films, and yeah, you can tell that they didn't have quite the same amount of time with it, it's still extremely impressive for what they were given. When you realize this was done on like a TV budget and a TV time frame, where they really made this movie in like 2 years, which is half the time of like a big feature animated film, it's incredible what they got. Is it exactly as high as like Lion King or Beauty and the Beast that were coming out this time? No, but it's a heck of a lot better than any of the direct-to-video sequels we got animation-wise, and they had very similar budgets and time. So shoot, I gotta give props to Goofy movie here. It's amazing y'all got that! Learning about this movie, seeing it again, seeing what the film has become over 30 years, really just reawakened me to how great this movie is. I always loved it as a kid. Like even when I was sitting there in the theater watching it, I could quote almost every word to this. I've seen it so many times. And I love it, and I need to go watch it like 12 more times because it's just so good. So if you've never watched a Goofy movie, first of all, how on earth have you never seen it? Second of all, you are forgiven. And thirdly, go check it out. You need to. It is just fantastic. So with that, I hope you guys all stand out above the crowd, even if you gotta shout out loud, and make sure you always see eye to eye. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!